name is Melissa Haney. I'm currently just south of Montreal. I live in the Eastern Townships currently. However, I'm from a small town in northern Quebec. It's called Inuktitut. It's a small fly-in community there, about 1,800 people that live there currently. So my father is from there, and my mother is from the Montreal area. So I was born in Montreal and raised partly up in Nunavik and also down here in the Eastern Townships of Quebec. And that's currently where I'm living. So I guess when I was younger, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. For sure, my job right now, flying an airplane, being a pilot with Inuit. But growing up, it was never something that I had ever dreamed that I wanted to do. Even though where I'm from, the only way to get in and out is with the airplane. And I took the plane many times. I never thought it was a job or a career that I can have. But it was only later on in life that I realized that, this job, this industry, this career actually existed. So I guess when I was younger, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but it was only later in life that I saw that I can have this. So I was interested in aviation, maybe not aviation, but I was interested in traveling. I always loved going to the airport when I was growing up, just the hustle and bustle of everything going on. So that always interested me. And I was in university here in Montreal, and I really wasn't enjoying what I was doing, what I was studying. And it was one of my friends who suggested that I go and apply at Air Inuit as a flight attendant. So that's actually how I got started in aviation. And a lot of people say, being a flight attendant is kind of the gateway and opening your eyes to the potential of other jobs in aviation. And that was my kind of gateway into what I'm doing right now. So I started as a flight attendant and really enjoyed that aspect and said, oh, I can do something more. And I went and got my pilot license. The first thing that you have to do when, you want to become a commercial pilot is to get your medical. So your medical is given to you by Transport Canada. And to get to where you are, you need to have this medical. And we actually do one every year. So every year we have a medical to make sure that we're still healthy and still able to fly. So after that, you can enroll at a flight school. There are many different options. Now you can either do at a private flight school where you're doing what's called a modular program, or there are many programs now where it's called an integrated program. So you're also getting not a college degree, but like an attestation for study. So it can be an aviation diploma. So there are many options, and I guess the best way to do is to reach out to either a flight school or a mentor and see what's best for you. And once you start in the program, there are two aspects. You do ground work, and then you also do flight work. So these kind of coincide with one another. If you study something on the ground, you'll go learn it in flight afterwards. And there are different steps that you take along the way, different licenses. So the first one that you get is your private pilot license. After that, you can get your night rating, which allows you to fly at night. From there, you can work on your commercial license, which is a license to allow you to get paid for flying, which is something we all want. And after that, you can work on your multi-rating. So this allows you to fly with more than one engine. And another rating that you need to get to work with an airline is called your instrument rating. So you need all these ratings to get to where you are. And each one has both a written aspect and a flight aspect. And at the end, you're able to go and find a job. The biggest moment for a pilot when they first get their pilot license is the day that they do their first solo flight. So the first time that they get to go alone in the plane without an instructor sitting beside them, and you take off and land the plane by yourself. So this is one of the most memorable flights for a pilot because you're the one in charge there. So I remember that day where my instructor was with me in a flight, and then he said, okay, we're going to go, back to the airport, we'll land. And he just got out of the plane after, and he said, okay, you can go and do a circuit by yourself. So it's a really exhilarating memory and a time in a pilot's life where you really remember. My proudest accomplishment that I have is the day that I became captain with Air Inuit. When you start flying, it's a goal that every pilot has, is that they become a captain on an aircraft. And I think the day that I did become captain, it was many years of hard work, kind of leading up to that moment. So I was very, very proud of myself then. The region that we fly in, we fly both in, southern Quebec and also northern Quebec. Physically, they both have different landscapes. So we have trees and big cities down here, but then you head to northern Quebec where it's vast tundra and cold temperatures in the winter, and northern lights all around you as well. So I think your perspective on life is you're one person in this vast territory. So I think just having that as flying through the air at 500 kilometers an hour, that you're one person in this big world. So I think it opens your eyes to different things. When I started, doing my license, for me, I never looked at it as because I'm a woman or because I'm Indigenous that I'm going to have these obstacles along the way. I think it's a hard industry to get in and to stay in no matter what background you have. And I think the most important thing with that is to kind of go in and give yourself a support system. So I was really able to have, a support system with, different friends, different family members. So just finding that. I think it was more after, once I finished my license, maybe getting into the industry, where I realized, oh, wow, there are not a lot of women in aviation. Oh, wow, there are not a lot of, Indigenous people within the aviation industry. So I think it was more on that part, but to get started into it, I didn't see any barriers that I could have had. The next goals that I have for myself, it's been 2 years that I switched onto a new plane. So it's a plane that I never flew before. So just to get to know that plane a little bit more and be comfortable as the previous plane that I was on. And a personal goal that I would like to have is to have a full female Inuit crew at Air Inuit. We've had, Inuit crews, but never a full female one. So I think that's a goal that I would like to see, either if I'm on it personally or if it happens with some other young ladies at Air Inuit. I think that's something that I would really like to see. And for now, I think those are kind of, just because I switched planes recently, I'm still kind of learning that I'm happy where I am right now.